finally all prepped up to watch Silver Circle. I mean, look at this trailer. It looks like some PlayStation 2 cutscenes featuring an off-brand Obama and a gun-toting Elon Musk. And it's vanished off the face of the earth. Well, here we are. I completely forgot about this movie, and to be honest, I'm surprised anyone ever remembered I said this. The terrible Silver Circle. This movie first appeared on my radar as I was looking for some of the worst animation designs I could find, beyond the cliche at this point that is Food Fight. And here, I'd certainly found it. But it was inaccessible, lost to time, and archived nowhere. Until November 29th, 2021, when username Flashfire42 whipped it back onto the web, and messengers Transform987 and Big Lad James H2002 brought it up right to me. So thanks for the suggestion, guys. But boy do I think I've bitten off more than I can chew, since this is a full-on political manifesto, and don't know if you noticed, but I ain't American. But sure, let's process through this as best we can. Alright, yeah, you got my attention. So we start off immediately with some armed guys arresting some people. I mean, I assume these are humans. They look like if solidified vomit learned how to walk, but what is this clunky walk cycle? Apparently it's some sort of mocap, but not really. It's cheap is what it is. And I assume they're getting arrested, but the action is more like... The reasoning for these guys' arrest? They're tenants of a house that they refuse to sell. So the government are intervening to take it by force. See, the world of Silver Circle is a hyperbolic dystopia. The government are interfering with everything, including now claiming houses in order to artificially bump up house prices beyond their true value. And more so than that, after a financial crash in 2014, the government now have access to something or other, but it means they're out to get you too. All of these characters we'll never see again. You just gotta feel empathy for them, because that elbow really looks like it hurt. Also, an innocent guy is shot, but the audio really doesn't do it any favors. Cut to a mysterious scene of a house in the dark, and a cloaked figure setting up a bomb. Ooh, whoa! Is that meant to be a dog? Jesus Christ. Oh yeah, and they blow up a whole neighborhood, but that's whatever. Awful match cut. And now we're at the actual start of our story with this guy here, logical straight man Jay Nelson. And he's an investigator to be put on the case of this arson attack. So here he rocks up in his clunky car with his clunky animation through a clunky gate where nobody else exists. Honestly, I'm actually getting kind of worried at how quickly I'm getting used to this aesthetic, because this is awful. Why is the dad in this video essentially T-posing? This Sims movie is already falling apart. But as Jay meanders around in his car and we have to watch, it's time for some news exposition of the world. You heard it from me already, and each shot is the perfect love letter to this dump. Armed men on the streets, long queues of people, the price of bread apparently displayed like petrol, $47 a loaf, protesters at an actual gas station, queuing at a bank, a Ron Paul shirt wearing busker. I mean, good lord. Is this not all just incredibly on the nose? Who even is Ron Paul? I'm too British for this. Okay, so he's super conservative, hates paper money, but also pro-guns, anti-separation of church, anti-abortion, thinks global warming is a hoax, anti-immigrant but not pro-war, opposed the Civil Rights Act, wrote racist material, thinks Fauci is lying about COVID, and his successor's son was one of Trump's top supporters. So really, if this is the ideal, this really is a dystopia. Apparently it's political week on DazzReviews. This is like a dystopian wet dream for scaring your audience of a worst case scenario. I mean, could this really be any less subtle? Plus, this film's set in 2019. This is meant to be a prediction from 2013. So Jay finally makes it to the burned down neighborhood. He's stunned. Well, I assume he's stunned. He's got about as much facial expression as that one kid with a creepy mask on. And talks to some officers. Nelson immediately knows what's going on. It was an explosion, and not a gas one. Though it comes off less like deductions and more like some kind of omnipotence.
I told you before, I didn't know she was your ex. She was my wife. Get over it.
Oh, now we know this guy is cool. What follows next is a 2-minute ramble about how great a guy Jay is for sticking it to the man in his last gerb. It's not subtle. So following up on his lead, he goes to the Cornwall real estate offices.
Hi, I'm Ginny Amato. I'm in charge while Mr. Jensen's away. Are you looking to buy or sell?
This is the closest thing to a comic relief we really get, and it's gonna be this one joke the entire time, and they only tell it twice. Anyway, after introductions are made, this lady here decides to just stand up on a stepladder. What? Why? Anyway, she now turns around to say she has some information, but can't say now.
I can't now?
I could ask you later. Say over dinner?
You're not as dumb as most guys.
Am I a dumb guy? I am not following. Why can't you say in this clearly empty room? And now we have these two guys investigating evilly and licking Mary? Whatever. One is dragged away and sexually assaulted, the other tails by car, I guess. We don't see much, and then they're back together again. Apparently the office guy has a clue, so he just goes ahead and calls Elon Musk? You cannot tell me that doesn't look exactly like the Elon Musk. I mean, look at it! So the lady's name is Zoe Taylor, and you know what that means?
She was the kid's sister.
I'm sorry, who's the kid? The kid who fought back against police? The guy who was shot dead? Neither of them really match this picture, so I don't know where they're going with this, but alright. And now they gotta find out what Jay Nelson knows. Plot. As for the investigative side of things, Jay's boss is relaying to the Federal Reserve Chairman. They know it's arson and not much else. And boss man Brandt here wants all to stay hush-hush, and Elon Musk is there! Now apparently, the chairman here has already somehow clicked that Jay Nelson hasn't actually said all he knows to his boss, and wants to know what he knows. We already know that these people want to know what Nelson knows, because Elon Musk was asking about it earlier. And you know what you need to know? You need to know that we are streaming every day in January after a certain point, so come subscribe. Come subscribe to this channel as well. Here's some statistics. Here are my links, because I'm going on hiatus through January on YouTube. So here is Jay Nelson, coming to meet with Zoe at a bookshop meeting? Well, there's a political speech going on here anyway.
In the same year pot became legal, 2016, what did the feds outlaw? Money.
Wow, considering this is a 2013 movie, they accurately predicted the marijuana legalization date. But yeah, Nelson's not paying attention to this as much as the audience has literally nothing else to listen to with this audio, and heads straight for Zoe. To which she just says,
Give it a listen.
boy, they're really laying it on thick here. So what does he have to say?
The dollar is dead. We have to win back the right to trade in whatever currency we want. We are on the edge of tyranny, people! But real, honest money, silver and gold. What's so dangerous about this?
This is the underground illegal currency of the world of Silver Circle. Something the big bad government cannot control. And you should trust that over those liars. Ironically enough, I wasn't sure if this author was a real thing, so I googled them. Oh boy! John Schaefer is a heavy metal guitarist. He's real. In fact, this character model is him. He's got a whole music video in universe to this film, and he was at the Capitol riots and coiled up in all sorts of sentences right now. Whoops.
Where are you gonna put your trust?
Well, probably not in the guy with convictions and a Confederacy flag on his belt. Yikes. Anyway, Nelson's noticed he's being followed and swiftly gets cornered by them, leading to... Oh my god, what a gripping action scene. And the music is just so good. Stop, I can't handle this quality. And soon enough, Zoe now careens in, crushing one guy's legs and tasing the other. And then she boosts away like she's a drag racer.
Custom engine and tranny. Did it myself.
Ah, cause of course she has all the skills to be the perfect hero. And one rock song later, they disguise themselves in the stupidest way possible with yet another perfect piece of political imagery. Subtle. And for the next 5 minutes, they just regurgitate what just happened. But hey, there's that dog again, named Jefferson. Of course it's named Jefferson. And the goons somehow predict that Jay Nelson has no chance of going back to his place. So now, after the perfect straight man who can now fight and the perfect lady with the driving skills are together for the night, naturally, they get together, cause that's how the power fantasy goes. Only to be interrupted by the goons again. Oh, actually no. The director tried to do something here. Match cutting between the two's tense scenes to mislead them. They actually ended up at the wrong address. So our heroes get noodles and talk about politics again. For God's sake.
They take our money, our homes, our freedom. We have to do something.
Man, you could really feel the conviction in her voice there. What a delivery. As for how they dodged the guys, Zoe here just sort of knew the goons knew where she lived and redirected to her group's hideout. There's a lot of knowing other people's thoughts in this movie, and it just keeps going. The goons said in the fight they work for a construction company, and now Nelson just knows that's not true.
Company.
No. That's what they wanted me to think.
Sounds to me more like the plot demands you to be smart, so you just became omnipotent in the process. And then of course, they have a one-night stand. Because of course they do. Meanwhile, the goons are at a park and Elon Musk is there!
Failure is unacceptable.
Oh my fucking god. You know, this would really be a chance for anything remotely, I don't know, emotive in the voice performance. But no, this guy just kind of dies quietly too. It's not surprising, but this audio is terrible. And I know it looks like an early Telltale game, but no, he's not going to become the Walking Dead after. And then they immediately cremate the body.
He sat up and waved goodbye. Oh, I love when they do that.
Yeah, I think I can imagine Elon Musk saying that in real life. Also, apparently this process leaves no smell or smoke or gases. I don't think that really applies when you keep the damn door open on the body. So Nelson is back at the arson scene, spotting a phone trigger, and then we're at the report of it. Okay. With Chairman Brandt now suggesting Nelson is taken off the case because of all the threats he's getting. And of course, Elon Musk is there too. Where's Nelson entering now? It's the Perennial Gale. What is that? It's a pub. Or a bar? Guess he's taking this firing thing well. Time to talk to dear old Dad. What? They talk about girls, Dad's hurt his arm but won't take Nelson's money, inflation, that's natural to talk about.
Inflation these past few years.
Worth less every day.
And he pays with silver circles. Dad doesn't trust paper money either. How did we loop round to this again?
What should be illegal is that worthless paper money the government keeps printing all day, every day.
And that's the scene done. Okay. Oh, now Nelson's getting fired. That's a weird order of scenes. And this scene's about as generic as you can imagine. You can't take me off the case. You're off the case. But that's final. But
I just got taken off the case.
Why?
What? Who are you?
No, but seriously, we haven't established Nelson's office at all, and now there's this guy getting all buddy-buddy?
I found something that might be of interest to you.
Oh, that's why he exists. He found the shot list for the movie. This is actually going to become some surreal break in the fourth wall plotline. Next you're going to tell me that these characters exist in the real world. Oh my god! But really, it's a video from the arsonist. Right next to screenshots of the rest of the movie, showing their perspective of the attack on the empty houses being taken by the Department of Housing Stability and claiming it's just a power grab.
Do your own research.
Ooh, because that always turns out well. And then it's a call to action to join them. Nelson, of course, continues his work, and apparently has the authority to still tell this guy to keep stum. The goons are back, well, one of them's back, readying to stalk Zoe.
That little piece outdrove you?
And in case you forgot, the bad guys are bad guys. Or is this just how the writer thinks anyway? Man, there's a lot of just driving in this movie, and no lines. I feel this is a common thing in bad movies. I wonder why. Anyway, it's a bait and switch. They're following the wrong gal, and are tricked on waiting for nothing. The real Zoe is meeting with Jay, who's here to confront her on being the arsonist. Wow, how did he know?
A certain phrase. A feeling.
Excuse me? Not the abundantly clear appearance of Jefferson the dog in the middle of the video? This film really doesn't want to lean on logical conclusions. It's all just cool guy does cool things. Omnipotence. Anyway, these empty houses that were burned were developed by Zoe's brother. But because of finances, he took his own life. And it was one of the first houses acquired by the feds.
Only remaining family member, a 17-year-old sister.
But didn't you two just...
Oh no. But stepping right over that, the two now argue on the cause of the brother's death. After refusing to pay for some political campaign contributions, the same asker then ordered the house to be acquired. And who was the man behind it all?
And I know that person was Victor Brandt.
What?
I'm shocked. Well, not really.
Does Jay Nelson switch to the rebel side now? Actually, no. So he gets tased instead. Remember, these are the film's good guys, people. Tase those who disagree with you. Oh my god, what is this now? A rooftop chase scene? There's barely a background to run on. And it's really not doing the clunky animation any favors. I got used to this aesthetic for a while, but this has just brought me right back. Why would you choose to make this if you're so limited in resources? Also, why would Zoe run post-tasing? She's still gonna be turned in by her logic. We're in a train tunnel now. Jay is almost killed, but Zoe now saves him? What is going on? And so, conflict over? Nelson is brought to the base of the rebels, and Elon Musk is there. He's not. I just figured it would sound appropriate, sorry. And we get the usual rebel spiel. Here's the surveillance, the weapons, the silver coins being printed here because
They contain their own value. They can't be printed out of thin air, so their value can't evaporate the way paper money does.
we'd sure stuff that same piece of information down our throats one more time, but aren't you literally printing them right now? And silver needs to be mined, which will intrinsically change its value. The whole message this film is pushing is to go back to the gold and silver standard monetary system, even though the consensus from real economists is that it's not beneficial to switch back and very much not some magic stable system. Maybe in a hyperinflated world this could make sense, but this is a fear-mongering movie. It doesn't apply to the real world. Wait until they hear that Iceland has already abandoned all cash. But with all the information laid out, what does Jay Nelson think?
Will you help?
I gotta know. Why'd you save me?
Apparently his brain's running on empty today, sounding like some kind of half-assed NPC over here.
I gotta know. Why'd you save me?
And he doesn't answer the question for a damn long time.
I set everything up.
What's everything?
Us meeting everything.
You knew I'd come to your office.
And Jay Nelson is now upset more so about how even the one-night stand was fake, and he still hasn't answered the damn question. Maybe this guy will get the answer out of him.
Why don't you get one of your whores to help?
But she's no whore. Hell, if I could...
Bruh, she's underage. Can the writers just not with this?
Jay doesn't say he'll help. Instead just saying, let me go look into things. And then, out he goes. Just like that. But now the rebels are stalking him instead. It seems more like it's trying to be symbolic that both sides are as bad as each other. I think the movie's just tone deaf, as well as clearly blind if they think this looks good. But now Nelson is here to talk directly to Chairman Brandt. And what do you know? Elon Musk is there. And he will not leave this private conversation. Nelson mentions everything we know, all about Zoe's brother, the bribe. Brandt gets awfully angry and then calms down after hearing this isn't an accusation. He monologues about how people cry to the people in charge, like all villains do, and then calls Nelson to action in bringing Zoe to him. And the followers decide to stop following him now, whilst Brandt plans to kill him in the evening and frame it on the rebels. But before we get to the height of the, tension, it's time for another scene with Dad at the pub, apparently at Nelson's request. It's nice to be wanted.
I'll be right back.
Thanks.
Was that really necessary? Did we really need to see the dad leave just to cut right to when he's back again? Anyway, Nelson needs advice. What do you do if the person you like does something illegal?
We all do stuff that's illegal. I mean, these are illegal.
Yeah, we get the message, Grandpa.
If you love them, you just love them.
And that's all the scene wrote. Dad now conspicuously goes to turn around the car, which, to be fair, I'm not too surprised is shown in this movie too, but really it's because Elon Musk just killed that guy's father. I don't really get the logic of this. If Chairman Brandt succeeded here, then the whole get Zoe thing was completely pointless. He didn't even know if Jay was gonna betray him or not. Or was this another one of those omnipotent feelings again? So, with Nelson's connections to the police, he pulls some strings to have them lie and say that he was in fact the body. Guys, faking his own death.
Can't always believe what you see on the news.
You don't want to say that line all the time?
And just like that, all is forgiven between the two.
What happened between us wasn't part of any plan.
I know.
And so we're now fully Team Rebels. The goal is simple: taking down Chairman Brandt. Why? Because he's currently running through a process called the Lifetime Appointment Bill so that he can keep his role for life. And that's the enemy. Doesn't really solve the economy's issues, but hey, it's a plot line. Cue the montage of building a stack of money with a bomb in it. It's actually not that interesting of a montage. So skip to the heist. Sneaking that money into a vault. The plan is foolproof. Approach the armed workers and distract them with small talk. Bonus points, don't get shot. Jay Nelson is to stand opposite the street in vague disguise to call out when soldiers are on the street, also in clear view the whole time. Zoe is to woo the soldiers with her feminine charms because she's the girl and that's how the world works, obviously. Whilst I've heard better voice audio from a Flash game. That small talk guy, by the way, doesn't really change much, but they convince them the stack belongs with some paperwork, and conveniently there's an old man to scapegoat. And how did the soldier part contribute? Why did these guys immediately throw their stuff away? There's so many logical flaws here, but whatever.
Everybody out, I need to take this.
I make this comment all the time, but yeah, what a powerful delivery. Can feel that conviction again. Jay Nelson calls Brandt directly, asking for somewhere to meet. So they pick the morgue, crematory place, wherever that old place was, right on midnight. Let's skip to it. That's not me skipping on the runtime, we literally just pop to it now. Nighttime just makes for a more dramatic turn, I guess. And so, Jay Nelson arrives alone. And big surprise, an audience favorite, Elon Musk is there. Already breaking Brandt's agreement of no one else appearing. And once at the bottom of the elevator that takes us from the ground floor down to the ground floor, apparently, old Muskie tells him he has to tell him the info now. And the only difference is how much pain he'll feel before telling. This dude's a real creep. And so is the character.
I'm not afraid of pain.
Good. We'll have fun then.
And of course, our hero of this story is some kind of badass that fears nothing and no one. Of course, he's unthreatened by threats and he hates authority. Muskie then goes on to ramble about his evil methods, wanting to put him in the fire alive, feet first, to see how long he'll last. I guess I can see the theme of fire with the real guy, considering rocket fuel. Sorry, my mind went on a wander when I first watched this. The tension's not really resonating with me. But now that lone goon is back to assist. Forget about the other guy.
Find Mr. Nelson.
There's something you should know, Quill.
Though this guy's just not into it either. Literally just stopping in his tracks right there and then. So what does Jay Nelson possibly have to say to one-up this entire situation of being cornered and tortured at gunpoint? Well, it's the same trait he's had this entire damn movie. Omnipotent knowledge.
I knew Victor'd send you instead of coming himself.
Ah, tick number 1 for knowing Victor so well.
And I knew that'd leave him unprotected.
Tick number 2 for knowing where all the members would be, not accounting for the goons, but also, yes, apparently accounting for all the goons.
My friends have already taken him prisoner. Just give him a call. He won't answer.
And number 3 for, actually I guess this one was more manipulated, but in actuality, Zoe hadn't actually acted on her part yet. So now Jay has the upper hand, giving Muskie a number to call, which he does, which then triggers that old bomb inside of the banking vault. Also, all the other rebels come in to corner Mr. Musk.
That was for my father, you sick bastard.
Oh, so then why didn't you hit harder?
And with Elon finally defeated, but not really fought against anymore, they kick him out. And he shoots his own men for some reason, just to get caught by the police. I don't really know what he was thinking anyway. I rarely know what's going on inside that guy's head. Why am I so political this week? It's the movie's fault. Zootropolis' fault. Disney's the reason I'm so political. But alright, let's wrap this up. Turns out this omnipotent plan was laid out so Muskie could be framed for the bombing. No one was hurt due to them giving an anonymous tip to evacuate the place, and Brandt, after a brief beating from Zoe, has to answer the door, being arrested on counts of murder. I'm not sure how, though. Apparently it was from evidence on old Muskie, but what ones? How does Brandt get pinned for any of this? This really doesn't make any sense. Also, I guess the moral is terrorism is good if you pin it on somebody else? Either way, the rebels sure are happy. Apparently...
And the people know the Fed isn't holy or invincible.
though I don't see much connection with all that. It just looks like an explosion. According to them,
They won't trust the money for long. This is going to change.
because they destroyed some of the paper ones? And as a final cheesy thing, picking up one of the ruined bills is that kid from the very start. They give him a silver circle, walk away as if they're some kind of pack of badasses, and the kid goes chasing after them with the most deadpan face straight into the camera. All to leave the audience with one final oof. Ironic that this movie all about the true value of money was made with seemingly as little money as possible, looking at the outcome. 18 months ago, I just wanted to see something that looked awful. To fall down a rabbit hole of such political nonsense from people that don't seem to understand economics, with strange expectations of how people act or should act bleeding from every faucet of this movie, is not where I expected this to go. And maybe it was a blessing to not cover this in 2019. There's just so much more context these days. But you know what? I have a craving for something better. So I'm just gonna go and boot up The Sims 3. For now, my name's been Dazz, you didn't really care, and I'll see you in a bit.